Do you want your mind to always remain under your control so that you can make it work according to your will? If yes, then watch this video till the end. Today, I will tell you a story that holds some secrets related to your life. Secrets that will be very useful to you. By the end of this story, you will understand how to bring your mind under your control. Once upon a time, a king ruled a kingdom. He loved horses deeply and owned 4 wild horses. The king adored these horses and wanted someone to train them so he could ride them. Unfortunately, no trainer was able to tame them. Every time a trainer tried to ride them, the horses would throw him to the ground. The king loved the horses so much that he did not allow any trainer to be harsh or beat the horses during training. The king announced throughout his kingdom that whoever successfully trained the horses would be rewarded with 100,000 gold coins. Many people, tempted by the reward, came forward but ended up breaking their bones after falling off the horses. Then one day, a young trainer came to the king's court and said, "I can train your horses, but I have 2 conditions." The king was surprised and asked, "What are your conditions?" The trainer replied, "First, I need 1 year to train the horses. Second, I need a large open space surrounded by high walls where I can live with the horses. I will take care of their food and drink, and no one should disturb me." The king thought, "I've already tried so much. Let me try this as well." He agreed to the trainer's conditions, saying, "All right, you can start tomorrow. Your conditions will be fulfilled." The next day, the trainer arrived and took the 4 horses to a large enclosed area. He released them freely inside. The horses began running around the enclosure. The trainer started running alongside the walls of the enclosure. After a while, he fed the horses, gave them water, ate his own meal, and lay down to rest inside the enclosure. The horses were still free to move around. No ropes were tied to them. In the evening, the trainer got up and started running alongside the walls again. When he ran, the horses also moved around. After some time, he fed them again, tied them up lightly, and lay down on a mat to sleep with them. The next morning, he untied the horses and began running inside the enclosure again. This became his daily routine. The trainer spent the entire day letting the horses roam freely. He fed them, groomed them, and played with them. Gradually, the horses started to feel that the trainer was their friend. Since his arrival, they had experienced freedom. Over time, the horses began to love the trainer as well. 6 months passed in this manner. One day, the king came to check on the training. He saw the trainer running ahead inside the enclosure while the horses followed him. The king was impressed and left satisfied. After a year, the trainer sent a message to the king, saying the horses were fully trained and ready. The delighted king came to see them. The trainer showed him how he could easily ride each of the 4 horses, one by one. The horses ran calmly around the enclosure, obeying the trainer. None of them tried to throw him off. The king was amazed and asked, "How did you accomplish this when no one else could?" The trainer replied, "First, I lived with them, gave them freedom, and became their friend. I earned their trust. Then, I began running with them, and they followed me. Gradually, I introduced the saddle, which they initially rejected. With patience, they accepted it. Later, I started sitting on them for short periods until they got used to carrying me. Eventually, I began riding them, and now, the results are in front of you." The king was so pleased that he not only rewarded the trainer with gold coins, but also appointed him as the caretaker of the horses for life. Friends, this was just a story, but it carries a deep lesson for us. Every human has 4 wild horses within them: worry, anger, arrogance, and greed, that are hard to control. The trainer in the story represents your mind, intellect, and wisdom. You need to use your intellect to train these 4 horses so they remain under your control. But remember, this requires patience and understanding. Let's look at each of these horses and how to tame them. Number 1. Worry. Overthinking. Worrying doesn't solve problems. If a problem arises, approach it calmly and try to understand it. Only then will you find a solution. Overthinking will only make things worse. Number 2. Anger. Anger might harm others, but it definitely harms you. While anger is natural when someone insults or wrongs you, it's essential to learn when, where, and how to control it. Use your intellect to gradually tame your anger. Number 3. Arrogance. Confidence in your abilities is good, but arrogance is harmful. Believe in yourself and take pride in your achievements, but never think you're better than everyone else. Number 4. Greed. Greed for knowledge and hard work is good, but greed for quick, ill-gotten wealth is destructive. Teach yourself the difference and focus on ethical ambitions. Take small, consistent steps to improve yourself every day. Learn, grow, and become the master of your mind.